It's a series that dates to 1901, and tonight, under the lights at Tiger Stadium, LSU meets Arkansas.
Way down where the sun shines hot from the Arkansas hollers, swampy Louisiana, we come up a little different around here.
This is SEC Saturday night.
We got a little dirt road dust running through our blood from a never heard of it hometown. I got a can't quit Hornets and take it too far and a whole lot of never back down. If you come around here, better bring it, cause we're no doubt gonna put a little south on you.
SEC Saturday night is presented by T-Mobile. Ed Ogeron in his final go-round as the head coach at LSU, leading the Tigers onto the field against number 25, Arkansas. They're playing for a 175-pound trophy made of 24-karat gold, and this LSU program playing loose the last couple of weeks since the coaching change was announced, and the home crowd is fired up here in Death Valley tonight. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart. Hey, Cole Kublik caught an elevator for the first time this season. He's with me. It seems a little bit different when there's a trophy on the line, especially in a series that goes back to the early 1900s.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. When you're Ed Orgeron, you know you're on your way out. Find little victories that you can try to accomplish. And Sam Pittman's already accomplished some of them. He wants another one tonight.
Well, Ed Ogeron is on the way out. This staff is on his way out, and they're playing loose. They're taking chances. We saw that last week against Alabama. They blitzed more in that one game than they had all season long.
They ran more defenses maybe than they've ran all season long, and it was really cool to watch. It was fun to watch, had a lot of success, but it was totally different. I can sit here and break it down for you. We went and talked to Coach O yesterday, so why don't we just let him tell you exactly what LSU did to Alabama.
I got a blitz. I promise you they can't block it. I said, put it in, we're running it. And here it is. So it's a zero blitz. I'm gonna show you right here. We got more guys that they can block, obviously. Okay, we're going to flog the gaps, all right? All right, this guy is going to bull. He's going to occupy this guy. So as he occupies the guard and then punches out, we got two guys that are free on this blitz right here. This is a great job and a great sack fumble. No, this gives us a chance to win the football game.
Their blitz rate was 7% on the season. They blitzed on 63% of their snaps against Alabama. The defense as a whole was tremendous, holding the Tide to just 6 rushing yards. It's an LSU program, though, obviously in flux, and that continues tonight with some of the personnel. And for more on those changes, let's go down on the field as we say good evening to Tara Talmadge.
Well, guys, earlier this week, LSU head coach Ed Orgeron told me that tonight we will be seeing 2 different quarterbacks for the Tigers. First off, we're going to see Max Johnson. He is going to be the starter for the Tigers tonight, just like he has been pretty much all season long. He will get the first 2 series of the game. After that is when we're going to be seeing Garrett Nussmeier. He's only played in 3 games so far this season, so this is going to be some of his first meaningful snaps this year. Now, playing 2 quarterbacks does complicate things, and on top of all that, LSU also has 2 of their starting offensive linemen out for tonight. Ed Ingram and Chasen Hines. Both guards are dealing with injuries and will not play tonight. However, LSU is pretty normal with injuries this season. They've been dealing with it a lot, so we'll see how they adjust tonight against Arkansas. Yeah,
they are missing some stars as they have most of the season, but missing 2 starting offensive linemen, that can't feel good if you're a quarterback.
2 guards. You're going against John Ridgway, one of the best nose guards in all of college football. That's a tough ask for this LSU O-line tonight.
Well, Arkansas knows what they do well. That's run the football. 4th in the country. It's not just one guy either. They got a lot of different weapons in the backfield.
Now, Dominic Johnson has become the guy in the backfield, a bigger back that Sam Pittman wanted to sort of get to and begin to get that run game going in a little bit of a different way. But you're going to see quarterback runs. You're going to see Traylon Burks at wide receiver be handed the football. Scheme is a big reason that this run game gets going. The offensive line is playing out over their skis this season. But it's going to be done with multiple personnel, multiple bodies, but they've got to get it going against LSU tonight.
Sam Pittman has them bowl eligible, and that was part of a big party after holding off Mississippi State at the end last week. Hogs won the toss and elected to defer. LSU will receive. That's what's on the line. The Golden Boot, 4 feet 1 inch And 175 pounds of, it looks like serrated metal. That's 24 karat gold, and we can attest it's heavy. Marcus Miller will kick it off to get us started. LSU see if they can play loose tonight after leaving it all on the field against Alabama a week ago. No return. Ed Orgeron told us Max Johnson would get at least the first 2 series of this game before Garrett Nussmeier gets an opportunity, and that's exactly what they'll do. The sophomore out of Oconee County High School outside of Athens, Georgia, 4th in the league in passing, 3rd in the league with 22 touchdowns. But multiple times late in the game against Alabama, slow to pull the trigger.
Flat out could not get the ball out, Tom. So you slow the offense down a little bit more. You see a huddle right here, first play of the game. Not going to go as much tempo to try to keep Max Johnson comfortable.
Ty Davis Price is the running back, and he'll get a chance on first down. That Arkansas defense stops him at the line of scrimmage. What will we see from Arkansas defensively tonight, coming off of a really good game against the Air Raid last week?
You want to see 3 down linemen continue to be your base front. That's what Barry Odom has had success with the majority of the season. Wanted to go to more 4 down beginning of the year, but he knows this is where they win. Question is, can they do what they just did on first down and continue to slow the run?
And so 2nd and 9 for LSU, and Johnson, the lefty, to let one go, delivers it on time to Davis Price, who takes it past the 30 for a gain of 5.
Not seen a ton of catches for running backs out of the backfield for this LSU offense this season, but that's something, Tom, that was such an emphasis for the Arkansas defense last week. You could imagine still on the forefront of their minds having to take away throws to the backs against Mississippi State.
That was a big part of an LSU offensive attack last season. New coordinators on both sides of the ball for Ed Orgeron's staff this year. On 3rd down, pressure coming. Into man coverage, and it's incomplete. Barry Odom doesn't blitz much. He brings pressure less than 10% of the time, but Malik Neighbors was well defended by Greg Brooks Jr.
You're going to hit the back out of the backfield. That's fine. He's going to circle out here. We're going to give pressure to him, Barry Odom says. There you see the stunt between the linebackers. Pressure comes off of it. Unable to pick it up. Max Johnson has to rush that football just a touch. Comes up incomplete.
Remember, LSU faked their first punt last week against Alabama. I got a great soundbite from Coach O about that yesterday. Avery Atkins threw a jump pass to get the first down, and he lets go a boomer down inside the 25. Bryce Stevens has a chance for a return. Here's Stevens. Past the 45, and great field position for Arkansas after a 25-yard return. So one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the SEC, and that's saying a lot. It's KJ Jefferson, who was a load. 6'3", 245 pounds, one of 10 quarterbacks in college football with over 1,600 passing yards and 400 rushing yards. And he directed the 2-minute drill to perfection last week against Mississippi State.
Tempo's a big part of what this offense does. Kendall Briles told me on the field before the game, we're not going to get away from that, but you do want to give KJ time to have the ability to recognize what this defense is going to present.
Dominic Johnson went over 100 yards against State last week. He's the starting tailback. They're going to fake the reverse to throw, and they got a first down to the tight end, Blake Kern, who spins down to the 35. Sam Pittman was aggressive to start the game against State. Little razzle-dazzle here tonight.
Well, Tom, I think it was the same play that they presented. They're going to go hurry up here, but last week gave it to Traylon Burks, and he threw it. This time Jefferson keeps it, tosses it himself.
Jefferson on the rollout, too strong to Traylon Burks. You'll hear his name a lot tonight. He's a key part of this Arkansas offense that is among the best in the nation at running the football, 2nd in the country, second in the SEC, 10th in passing. Kendall Briles is the offensive coordinator and play caller. It all starts with their quarterback, KJ Jefferson. A little wobbly snap. Here's Dominic Johnson. Finds just 2. Neil Farrell Jr. had a monster game against Alabama. Is in there for the stop. He seemed to be a different player with Glenn Logan next to him now.
And that's his buddy. I thought maybe there was something going on with scheme. Maybe it was less double teams that he was seeing. But Durante Jones told us, nah, he just likes Glenn. That's his guy. Their roommates, their best friends off the field. He just feels more comfortable having him next to him, but his numbers have skyrocketed since Glenn Logan's been back.
Is that how you feel next to me?
Sometimes.
3rd and 8. Jefferson finds Burks. A little stiff arm will get him a couple more yards, but it's only a gain of 3, and that'll bring up 4th down in LSU territory. And here comes the kicking team. Cam Little was money this direction in pregame warmups. Into the wind. Made 3 of 45 plus last week against Mississippi State. This is from 48.
Would you say that's a little more than a gust?
It's gusting. Distance is good, but it sneaks in, and Little, by that much, gets Arkansas on the board. A kicker with confidence. Cam Little comes up huge again for Arkansas. Opening drive, and the Razorbacks are on the board after a great punt return. Sam Pittman's taken Arkansas back to a bowl. First time since 2015. It was the longest bowl drought since between the 54 Cotton and 1959. That was year 2 under Frank Broyles. That ends tonight. They'll go back for the first time since 2016. Pardon me, ended last week. He was excited. They even went to a local bowling alley and found a prop to celebrate. Sam Pittman's postgame celebrations have become a party. When you go find a bowling ball, you got to give it a name. Let's introduce you to Larry.
We're bowl eligible, man. Let's go. We're going to a bowl. Yeah. I'm going to introduce you to Larry. Yeah. Larry. Somebody bring Larry in.
Max Johnson hands it off on first down. So as the story goes, the ops director, Patrick Doherty, went to a local Walmart to find a bowling ball. They were a little pricey at 55 bucks. He said, maybe we can find one cheaper. Go to the bowling alley, find a used one, bring that one back, and just happened to have the name Larry stamped on the bottom of it. Sam Pittman says that's the first of the 4 B's of their goals. Next is the boot. Then we get Bama, and finally the battle line game against Missouri. Those are great goals for this Arkansas team.
I love how he realigned the second half of the season there to get his guys re-energized after the bye week.
2nd down 9. Johnson with 2 new guards starting scrambles for. I wonder in a quarterback's head, he's obviously, it's been communicated to him what the plan is tonight. Does Max Johnson feel any pressure to produce in these first 2 drives, or is he looking over his shoulder?
I don't know exactly what Jake Peetson at Orgeron told Max Johnson as opposed to what they told us, but if they know that Gus Nussmeier's going to play, if Garrett Nussmeier is going to play tonight, then yeah, he's got to be looking over his shoulder, got to be feeling like he needs to make some plays. He don't want to be taken out of the game.
3rd down 6. Josh Williams, a tailback. Pressure coming. And we got a flag before it got underway. Our referee tonight is Alex Moore. Jake Peets in his first year as the offensive coordinator. LSU does it pretty uniquely.
Delay of game, defense number 55, disconcerting signals.
Oh,
5-yard penalty.
it's Trey
Results in a
Williams.
first down.
Got caught for disconcerting signals. We've heard that as a complaint throughout college football this season.
Well, there's also an interesting background with Trey, as Barry Odom told us that his reputation has been earned as someone whose penalty flags will come maybe his way just a little bit more often. But we've heard Coach Leach talk about this the last couple of weeks. We had Mississippi State. A lot of folks concerned about trying to steal the snap count or mimic the snap count.
3rd down.
So it leaves 3rd and 1 now. Well, what a difference this will make to the play calling for LSU. Williams finds just enough of a hole for a first down. He's talking about play calling for LSU. Jake Peets is the offensive coordinator for LSU. There's Jake. But when it comes to 3rd down, the play calling generally falls to the hands of DJ Mangus. This is something that most teams don't do. There's DJ to the right. And Jake said, you know, if it's a running down, I still handle it. But yeah, it gets out of my hands when it comes to a passing down on 3rd. Through the hands of Brian Thomas Jr. Incomplete.
You say most teams don't do that. I've never heard of a team.
It is rare.
Yes. So, and we actually have spoken to a couple other offensive coordinators about the possibility of that taking place, and got some weird looks.
Well, the thought was that during the national championship season, Joe Brady handled most of the third downs. Maybe he was calling more plays than that. But Ed Orgeron liked that setup so much, why not run it back? 2nd and 10. Johnson gets rid of it. And he finds Jack Besh. He has been a revelation for LSU, and the product out of St. Thomas More in Lafayette fights for 6.
Such a tough player, tough to identify. Ask Barry Odom, how will you identify Jack Besh? He said, we're going to identify him as a wide receiver. They want matchups that will allow smaller defenders with a little more quickness to be able to stick with him, but he can act as a tight end. LSU will use him as a tight end. Just a valuable piece of this offense, especially considering all the guys that are out of the lineup.
Had a touchdown last week against Alabama, one of his 5 catches. 3-man rush, complete, and an LSU first down to Trey Palmer. Pickup of 11.
Ooh, this is a strike from Max Johnson. Look at the confidence, Tom, when he knows when to get the ball out. Right on his receiver's hands. Nice grab from Trey Palmer. Just 1-2, boom, let the slant go.
You said 1-2. It's almost like a dance move. Jake Peach said, I spent time with him this week in practice. Almost like a metronome, working on the timing, working on the footwork. 1-2, shuffle, go. And right behind his ear, calling out those steps so he can get the passes out on time. Flag on the play, and the tail end of this run by Josh Williams, who's getting extensive run tonight. He came in with just 10 carries on the season.
Yeah, he said metronome. I thought he was talking about Kirby Puckett.
Offense number 77.
It's the metronome.
10-yard penalty. Still first down.
I was thinking about Kent Herbeck pulling Ron Gann off the back.
You weren't a music major, were you?
Was not.
First and 20 now. This might be the time as a play caller, if someone else is handling third downs, you just hand him this one.
You got
what he got
one.
on 1st and 20.
Evening up here, a little pistol formation. First time we've seen that tonight.
Toss to Armani Goodwin. And he's unable to make it back to the line of scrimmage.
The difficulty against a true odd front are your edge defenders. See 31 Graham Morgan. He's got space to be able to redirect. So if an offensive lineman is trying to climb to the 2nd level, he has the ability to either get outside or play that thing inside, hug it tight. Is he going to try to box it? Is he going to try to spill it? He's got time to operate because of his space removed from the line of scrimmage.
Johnson, man coverage. Incomplete, trying that time. And we're going to flag down for Devontae Lee. Monteric Brown had a great game last week against Mississippi State, got flagged.
Pass interference. Defense number 21. This is penalty is an automatic first down.
Well, Jake Peets is not going to discontinue the attack mode that he wants to bring when he gets a one-on-one on the outside. You see press coverage. Obviously, Devontae Lee can go up and get the football. Just a little late contact there. Locate the football.
First down, baby. You know, I majored in lip reading while you were studying music. Ty Davis Price back in at running back. Got a man down the sideline. Lee hauled it in, but was across the line, incomplete.
Whew. Heck of a grab. I'll see if Devontae Lee can get a body part down. No. What a catch. The body control to be able to go up, grab that football, torque up in the air, and almost be able to get a foot down. Heck of an effort.
10th play of the drive. In this game last year, LSU dominated time of possession. Had the ball for over 41 minutes. Here's Ty Davis Price for 3 yards.
So one of the questions that I had about how LSU would attack Barry Odom's defense in the run game, would it be zone scheme? Would it be gap scheme? We've seen mostly gap scheme so far, blocking down, pulling around. You have 2 new guards, a little bit easier, Tom, to be able to say, hey, pull and go find somebody, to maybe run a zone scheme where a defender shows up in front of you or disappears, and then a linebacker's up at the 2nd level.
Barry Odom in the middle of that picture, defensive coordinator, former head coach at Missouri. Second possession for LSU. Johnson on 3rd and 7. They finally get to him. He held the football and gets taken down for the first sack of the night for Arkansas.
So slide protection. You're just going to see gap protection from the offensive line. Everybody just basically going to take a step one direction. Running back's going to stay in, tight end staying in. Really 6-man protection, almost 7 with the chip. Max Johnson's got to get the football out. I understand coverage might be good, coverage might be there, but that mental clock has to have him understand nobody home, tuck it and go.
So they will punt it away. We will wait and see what LSU does at the quarterback position next possession. Did they get that one in front of the goal line? Tossed all the way out towards the 16. And Arkansas will have it for the second time tonight. Did it break the plane? Got a beanbag down. And we'll let them sort it out. Tell you about it when we return. 3-0 Hogs.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. And in part by new Coca-Cola Zero Sugar and Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Try the best combo ever today.
Well, great history between these two programs, including the 1966 Cotton Bowl. Hogs had a 22-game win streak on the line. #1 scoring offense in the country coming into the game, 32 points, and they were held to 7 in a loss to LSU on New Year's Day 1966. They reviewed this play, trying to see if the ball crossed the plane of the goal line, and the foot doesn't matter for the player, it's only the ball, and confirmed that it did, so it'll be a touchback, and it comes out to the 20. There's a great look on pylon cam. So second possession for KJ Jefferson and Arkansas. Dominique Johnson has taken over as a starting tailback, 6'1", 235, out of Crowley, Texas. Go play action to him. Jefferson wants to take it himself, and he gets hit behind the line. Loss of 1. Micah Baskerville, and then Damone Clark to clean it up.
Damone Clark played one of the better football games at the linebacker position that I've seen in a long time last week. You see him there at the second level. Watch him redirect, come up, and he'll get that contact on KJ Jefferson.
Well, this is going to be a physical game tonight, especially when the Hogs have the ball. It's Johnson that time again, and he's able to pick up 5.
So we're mostly seeing from Durante Jones, the LSU defensive coordinator, what we got last week against Alabama. We wonder, would it go back to some of the 4 down? Would they stay 3 down? Now back to a more traditional LSU look with 4 down defensive linemen here.
Myron Cunningham started to shuffle before the snap.
Off for the 76. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
There is some question coming into this game what kind of motivation LSU would have, and therefore how they would respond early on in this game. At least on the defensive side, and Ogeron's club is dialed in.
I don't think that, first and foremost, you want to go out and have some pride, represent your school. But with everything you were able to accomplish against Alabama last week, why not come out and play like your hair's on fire? First off, Tom, a lot of the things you're able to do are fun. You're attacking, you're slanting, stunning, blitzing. How could you not enjoy that if you played along the front 7?
They put in so many new defenses and new blitzes, and they come with pressure here. Zero coverage, and they almost get to Jefferson. Baskerville again. When Ed Ogeron introduced the new defenses, the blitzes with the off week, he said the guy's eyes lit up.
You want to let Coach O talk about it again like we did in the open?
We could.
It's the same blitz. Zero blitz. Look at these LSU defenders.
It's intentional grounding.
And includes a loss of down.
And that'll be a loss of down.
I could complicate this for you, but I'll make it easy. More defenders than you have blockers. KJ Jefferson has to understand the ball needs to get out.
Sometimes easier said than done.
And part of the complication with that last week, Tom, was you got some traditional zone blitzes last week.
I want you to talk about the smelling salts in a second. Trey Palmer back to receive this one. LSU comes after it, nearly got it. And Palmer from the 45. Shook the first, trying to outrun the second. And great field position for LSU after an 11-yard return, and we'll see Garrett Nussmeier, freshman from Lake Charles, whose dad played in the NFL with the Cowboys, now on the Cowboys staff. Rated the number 14 pocket passer in the ESPN 300 class of 21. Limited time, played a drive against Ole Miss, went 7-12. Corey Kiner is the running back next to Nussmeier. We asked for the scouting report. They said he's a gunslinger. He'll take some chances. Wants to throw on first down. Lets it go. Incomplete. All right, so how does a guy get ready to take a snap in a night game in Death Valley? Well, on the sideline, he's getting loose. We got new age smelling salts on the sideline. Luckily, we got a guy in the booth knows all about it.
Yeah, you just get the atomic there. It's kind of like skating to one song and one song only. Gets the people going.
Jeez. That's a Cole Kublik tradition every game. The offensive lineman never leaves him 3 yards now. That leaves third down for Nussmeier.
I love the fact Jake Peets comes in right off the bat, said, hey, young man, let it rip. Get it down the field. Go for the shot play.
It's an Arkansas team fully prepared to face two quarterbacks this week as Josh Williams picks up 5. That leaves 4th and 2. Leave him out there, right? That's what they'll do. Ty Davis-Price comes in on 4th and short. Barry Odom knows Garrett Nussmeier well. He came to camp in Columbia, Missouri when Barry was the head coach at Mizzou. Derek Dooley, friends with Garrett's dad, offered him a scholarship at Missouri. Davis-Price, first down LSU. Well, whether it's Garrett Nussmeier or not, there seems to be a boost in the energy, not just in the LSU team, but in the building.
Absolutely, little energy from the crowd, feeling it right now. Ty Davis-Price, excellent with the cutback run.
And they're going tempo with Nussmeier in. Davis-Price to the 25, to the 24.
That inside zone cutter, kind of designed to cut back a little bit. That was the big hitter against Alabama late, where Ty Davis-Price got it down inside the 10. He just has a great feel for when to get north and south.
On 2nd and 4, tempo again. Maybe a couple. Hayden Henry in on the tackle. We got a flag down on the near side.
Looked like Simeon Blair, 15, lined up off sides.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, this LSU tempo has the Hogs on their heels a little bit.
It's not something that we even expected, Tom. We talked to Coach Peets about how he's going to manage this offense. He said, hey, more huddle. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Told us they wanted to try and take the air out of the game to protect the defense.
Well, that was the case with Johnson. Totally different game plan with Nussmeier. Fake the toss, and he'll run it again. Corey Kiner shoved out of bounds by Brown after a pickup of 4.
Something that LSU had a lot of success with against Alabama, some of the overload formations. 74 in the game right here as a tight end. That's offensive tackle Marcus Dumerville. Nice job climbing to the 2nd level, getting a pretty good block with those bigger bodies. Something that he's going to force Barry Odom to get out of this 3-man look right here.
On 2nd and 7, shot to the end zone. Incomplete. Teray Jenkins, who had a great game against Arkansas last year, couldn't haul that one in.
I asked Barry Odom on the field about it before the game. Arkansas defensive coordinator, can you stay in your traditional 3-down look the entire game? He said it depends on how big they play. If they want to bring bonus bigs into the game, then I might have to get out of it. Not sure if we can hold up well against the run if they're going to play bigger lineups.
It's an Arkansas defense led by their linebackers. Right now it's Poole and Henry in. They try to go straight ahead with Josh Williams, who finds just 1.
It's a really nice job by Bumper Poole, just sort of sneaking ahead of the tight end's block to be able to make that tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Cade York He's made 17 of his last 18 attempts. He's got a couple of the longest field goals in Tiger Stadium history. This for him is a chip shot, 34. And he drills it. Sent that one 20 rows deep. LSU has shown some life. And Ogeron said, we can play loose, fellas. There is no tomorrow. Tied at 3.
Score tied at 3. Let's take a look at what LSU did on defense last week. Pressure at the running back is what set this plan apart from Durante Jones. If you have an RPO-based offense, to have a run fake, the back has to leave in protection. What LSU do? They attacked the running back. That left the protection absent of the extra bodies coming on pressure. Alabama couldn't pick it up, didn't have an answer for it. And it was an excellent plan put in place by Ed Orgeron and Durante Jones to attack an RPO offense at the running back. You know, there's no R in RPO, Tom, without the run fake.
That's what that stands for? Chance for a return from the 2. Into the 16-yard line. Ed Orgeron told us yesterday that one of the key blitzes that they developed that they never shown before is because it had just been invented by Kevin Coyle, who's a defensive analyst and had been in the NFL for a couple different stints. And Friday of the bye week, he came to Coach O hurriedly in his office after like 6 o'clock at night on Friday night. He says, Coach, I got a blitz. You got to look at it. I was like, what, you just drew it up in the dirt? Yeah, we just invented a blitz.
How many coaches even listen to that conversation? Coach O's in a pretty good spot right now to be able to take those kind of chances, and pretty cool that they were able to put it in, and it was as effective as it was last week against Alabama. Seen a good mix from Durante Jones tonight. Another bear front with all 3 linemen covered inside.
Neil Farrell at the nose, trying to get the perimeter with Dominique Johnson, and he's hog-tied by Cameron Lewis and tossed out of bounds after a gain of 2.
If you're going to play a bear front, you better have some linebackers that can scrape, or corners and safeties that are going to come up and play the run.
What's a bear front?
Nose guard, 2 defensive tackles covering up the center and both guards. More traditional 4-down look here.
Pressure from the edge. Jefferson doesn't see it, and LSU gets him again. Micah Baskerville. They are playing loose and free.
The aggressive nature from Durante Jones is not going to stop. You'll see the pressure come off the edge. Traditional 4-down look. Now, it's a pistol formation, so you can't really go at the back as they did a week ago. But off that play action, with KJ Jefferson turning his back to the pressure, unable to see it and pick it up. One thing Durante Jones said he wants to do with adding pressures, speed up the play action and speed up the routes within them.
3rd down, 15. Here's Burks. He can throw it. Waiting for time. Former baseball player unloads way too strong. Arkansas going backwards.
Seen a lot of these nice-to-have plays from Arkansas tonight. Hit the first one out of the gate. We'll throw back to Burks. He's going to try to hit a home run down the field against single safety coverage. A lot of times you know you're going to get a one-on-one. Nice recovery there by LSU's deep safety. But I want to know what your baseline offense is right now for Kendall Briles, because you haven't had a lot of consistency to be able to move the ball.
Trey Palmer to return this punt. It's a low one, and he catches it on the run. Down to the 40-yard line. 37-yard punt. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. Tom Hart, Cole Kublik, Tara Talmadge down on the sideline. It's a battle for the Golden Boot, and a second series work by Garrett Nussmeier. Max Johnson started the game at quarterback for LSU, got 2 series in. And Orgeron said, I wouldn't be surprised if Nussmeier takes the reins and finishes it off.
Boy, Coach O was excited about seeing Garrett Nussmeier, just to see what he could bring to that offense. A little extra juice. I feel like he's gotten it so far.
5-man rush. Nussmeier incomplete. Trying to find Trey Palmer. And Kirkland behind him.
Just nobody home. Pretty good protection there. Nussmeier waiting on that route to develop, sails on him a little bit.
Quarterbacks didn't have a great week of practice, according to Jake Peets. In fact, on Wednesday, he was so upset he left them with the script, and he said, practice is over. You guys need to stay out here and keep running things, and they did. Here's Ty Davis-Price, finds room, picks up the first down. LSU has found some momentum in the form of Garrett Nussmeier, the second-string quarterback. They scored on their last possession in a battle for the Golden Boot. They're knocking on the door again. Garrett Nussmeier at the helm now for LSU. He and Max Johnson, sons of NFL quarterbacks, one of just 2 teams in college football whose dads at the quarterback position both played in the NFL. Doug was a sensational quarterback at Idaho, the Walter Payton Player of the Year in 1993. And put up some monster numbers, dual threat guy as a lefty, and now his son Garrett getting the opportunity here. Start of the second quarter in a series where LSU has won 5 straight. Pressure up the middle. Nussmeier spins, uncorks, end zone, caught, touchdown. Jack Besh flagged down after a 29-yard strike on the run. Let's take a look at the catch and see if Besh didn't push off.
If he did, it was just before that.
Pass interference. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
It was on the defense. And Nussmeier with his strike. And you know what we're seeing tonight? Now we're seeing why the backup quarterback is the most popular guy on campus.
The escapability to remove himself from pressure. And Coach O told us, Tom, he's a gunslinger. He'll take a shot down the field. He's done it a couple times tonight. What a grab by Besh. You can see why Barry Odom doesn't identify him as a tight end, making catches like that. Whew.
It came after Odom brought pressure, and Nussmeier able to escape. That's a phone call he's happy to take. What are we waiting on? Jake Peets saying, just keep doing what you're doing.
Throw it to that guy more.
Yeah. Third touchdown of the season for the freshman Besh. Cade York for the point after. LSU's first touchdown of the game, first lead for the Tigers. Here's how it unfolded for Garrett Nussmeier.
Pressure coming from everywhere. Spins out and just says, you know what, I got the one-on-one. Let's get it to the end zone. Heck of a grab by Besh.
And that celebration felt all over the South, even over in Dallas. Garrett celebrating, and as the Cowboys prepare to take on the Falcons tomorrow, there's Dad. Got some film on the right side and son playing right in front of him.
How cool is that?
QB coach with the Cowboys, working with Dak Prescott every day. Probably worked with Garrett a time or two as well.
I didn't realize Doug Nussmeier and I had something in common. Like watching football alone.
Well, there might be some nerves. He's probably less nervous game planning for the Falcons than he is watching Garrett play tonight.
I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think there's any doubt that he's probably feeling a few more jitters watching his son out here tonight sling the football around.
Probably let out a whelp after that one. A.J. Green back to receive, and he'll let it slide into the end zone. Well, Arkansas has had a hard time getting things going tonight. They're once again facing pressure from LSU, just like the Tigers brought against Alabama last week. They came in 4th in the country in rushing. What's not worked for Arkansas tonight?
I mentioned in that last possession, Tom, I need to see the baseline of plays from Kendall Briles. We've seen some nice to have. I need to see your need to have now on offense. And we thought that was going to consist of a lot of 20. Dominique Johnson, he's been the workhorse the last couple of games, especially last week.
See if LSU continues to bring pressure. Linebackers flow here, and Jefferson is able to get it out to Traylon Burks. Gain of 2. Traylon Burks is incredibly important to this Arkansas offense. He is their go-to receiver, and the junior from Warren, Arkansas, does everything for them.
I think this tempo will help get them back into a rhythm.
Here's Burks in motion, ball on the ground, and Burks able to recover it. Timing was off.
Mentioned former baseball player there, almost like a shortstop after booting one. Just a low snap. Not so much low, but short. You don't see that much from Ricky Stromberg. He's had a heck of a season.
Arkansas for 3 on 3rd down tonight. Bunch to the right, to the slant, and incomplete. Trying to find Burks. Dwight McLaughlin was all over him, and Arkansas comes up empty again.
Overload pressure again, essentially outnumbering your protection. 5-man protection from Arkansas. LSU shows 6. KJ Jefferson knew he had to get the football out. Great coverage by Dwight McLaughlin also there. You can't run those zero pressures if your corners aren't going to be able to contest balls. Dwight was in a position to make a play, even though that ball a little bit low.
Reed Bauer will kick this one from nearly the right hash. Trey Palmer driven all the way back. Willie Mays over the shoulder. Gets up the sideline and dances out of bounds. A 17-yard return. LSU's been given a spark, a bolt of lightning in the form of Garrett Nussmeier. Tell you about it after this. Garrett Nussmeier, the new LSU quarterback. For more, here's Tara.
Yeah, Garrett Nussmeier has moved around a lot growing up. He didn't stay anywhere for more than 3 years with his dad being a coach, so he's always had to earn the respect and his starting spot. Coming off the field after that touchdown, you could see that he is slowly starting to earn that respect from his teammates. They were all clapping and hanging out a little bit. It was also good to see Max Johnson say good job as well.
That is important for sure. It's pretty simple for a quarterback to earn respect of his teammates. It comes with action more than words. Coach O was talking to us yesterday about Joe Burrow, and he said when he first came out here, the only guy he had to throw to was a tight end who was the host on his recruiting visit, and he'd throw every day after practice, and all the other guys were working with the other quarterbacks. But every day when we ran 110s, Joe Burrow finished first, and after he'd won every sprint for about 4 days in a row and was throwing, he said, then I would look out my window and notice more and more receivers coming over to play catch with Joe Burrow.
False start, offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
In that spot, you have to find ways to prove to your teammates that you're different. That you're a guy that's going to bring a different element to the football team, especially in that leadership position. Joe obviously had a lot of different ways to do it, but getting out there with Foster Moreau early was one, winning the sprints was another, and then being vocal in some of the team meetings soon after that probably would help put him in that spot.
2nd down and 16. Pressure again from Arkansas. Nussmeier over the middle for Besh. Wanted a hold. Didn't get the flag. Miles Slusher with the coverage for Arkansas.
Tough throw. Pretty good pickup by the LSU offensive line. We're seeing Barry Odom dial up more blitzes, and that's not something that's been comfortable or normal for the Arkansas defense this fall.
Third and long. Hogs drop 8. Nussmeier on the run. And it is battled for, and Monteric Brown was able to get a hand on it. Incomplete, and that'll bring out the punt team.
Boy, big time jam at the line of scrimmage. You're seeing Arkansas just trying to reroute a lot of the LSU wide receivers. Pressure gets to Nussmeier a little bit early, has to leave the pocket. That's just a tough throw.
That was Greg Brooks. The linebacker had that jam. Bryce Stevens back to return. Hogs almost got that one. Stevens with a shoestring catch on that 35-yard punt. We've got a fun one tonight in Death Valley.
SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile, is brought to you by new Coca-Cola's Zero Sugar and Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Try the best combo ever today. And beef. It's what's for dinner.
We honor our veterans this weekend throughout college football. That is the USS Kidd, named after Rear Admiral Isaac C. Kidd Sr. killed aboard his flagship USS Arizona during the attack on Pearl Harbor. And the folks on our crew that we want to thank: Jordan Durbin, Army Private First Class; Michael Anglos, Army Specialist; and David Myers, who works with us in the booth, Army Sergeant First Class. It helps to have some security in the booth. That's not your job. But folks, last week, Barry Odom tried to get in our booth at Arkansas at the end of the game because he was so excited about the win against Mississippi State. This guy held the former linebacker out of the booth. It's okay, David. Coaches can come in if they want.
All right.
Thank you for your service. Here's KJ Jefferson. Before you go, Jefferson stopped at the line of scrimmage. Thank you for everything you do for us every week, and thank you for serving our country. How'd you let that guy in the booth, though?
Thank you for your service, David.
Thank you, Cole.
Don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing. David takes care of us in the booth every weekend. Barry was talking about that before the game. He said, I tried to get in there. He said, man, your security was tough. Here's a reverse to Burks. LSU has eyes on him. That's something that we talked about with this LSU coaching staff and Durante Jones. He said it's not just to have a spy on him on third downs, but we have to have other guys with eyes on him throughout the game.
It's more recognition than anything else. Have an understanding where 16 is on the field, because he can beat you so many different ways. You get somebody on him this play.
Expect to see him bracketed, doubled on third downs. Knox splits out in front of him. Looking for a screen to Burks. They go the other way. Nice touch, but a big stick on Dominic Johnson, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Cordell Flott, first man there.
It's a newer play for Kendall Browse. Wanted to try to hit a couple running back screens to maybe scare the LSU defense out of similar pressures that they ran a week ago. It's the offensive lineman out front trying to get a block or two. And the thought process is there, Tom, when you're bringing 6, 7, 8 defenders, if we can slip a screen out, all I got to do is get in the back's hands, and we should have enough space to be able to create. Not on that play for the Hogs.
Razorbacks had 18 yards on their first play of the game. Since then, -5. And another 3 and out for the Razorbacks. Total yards dominated by LSU. Let's take a look at Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. You know, it's a big party when Joey Chestnut is across the street participating in a pizza eating contest. I wonder if he could do any damage on that one.
I heard he lost
by 1/8 of a slice.
Yeah, how big the slice, though? I mean, if that's a big slice, that could be a blowout. It's like gymnastics score.
Nussmeier hands it off, and 3 yards in the run game. What have we seen from Garrett Nussmeier to this point that will give us a hint on what LSU wants to do going forward?
I would say a little bit of energy first and foremost. Escapability, one, able to elude the rush, the arm strength to get the football down the field, and just a little bit of toughness, a little extra energy.
He's only 1 of 6 passing so far. The one a touchdown. There's his second. He finds Besh again. Made a man miss and took it to the 35. Hayden Henry with the Olay, and it turns into 17.
Right, when you're on split zone, your tight end's coming across. Obviously, back's going to go the opposite direction. You steal some eyes. Pressure comes up, and Nussmeier understands, get that ball out now. Wonderful timing of understanding where that route was going to be and why he needed to get the football out quickly.
Nussmeier rolls again and finds Besh again. Pardon me, that's Mashburn. Lost the football, and it'll kick out of bounds and stay with LSU. $18-yard completion. Tigers lucky Arkansas didn't take that one away.
The field is a forward fumble. By rolling the ball, returns line of the fumble. First down, LSU.
Well, Mashburn's such a valuable piece of this offense, especially with what he does blocking in the run game. But a nice job. They drag him backside. It was similar play with split zone. Had Besh coming across, but then another tight end behind him. So you level that route tree a little bit. And Nussmeier, excellent patience to get it to him.
Balance attack for LSU. And on the Wildcat loose ball, Arkansas's got it. Ty Davis-Price couldn't handle the high snap. And the Razorbacks catch a break. Greg Brooks finds a loose football, and that'll end the LSU drive.
Tigers want to go Wildcat. Let's take a look at the snap. Get a good angle of it here. Oh, just a little off to the right.
I know it's not a great snap, but I feel like that's the kind of snap that a quarterback handles that a running back doesn't have the reps to handle.
You could see Ty Davis-Price's arms almost stay bent just a little bit. Even if you rep it, you don't rep it all the time. It's a great point that you make, that a quarterback just has an understanding of how to go get a bad snap. They do it all the time. Center quarterback exchange, Tom, that's the first thing you do before every practice. It's miserable for a center because you're sitting in your stance the whole time. So you got your knees bent, the quads are burning, your glutes are on fire, but you're just snapping all the different quarterbacks. Price doesn't do that as much.
And now you ride a Peloton. Here's a handoff. Dominic Johnson hangs a U-turn. And he will slither and now power his way to an Arkansas first down. It started when he's able to get sideways and get up the field. It ends with 13 yards.
Tom, we asked Durante Jones about cutback runs. It's inside zone to the right side of the offensive line and cuts completely all the way back to the line of scrimmage.
Here he is again. Maybe a yard that time, probably less. Why is that so hard to defend?
4 big hitters for Arkansas last week against Mississippi State were on cutback runs. When you're beginning to play a more aggressive style on defense, it's attack, attack, attack. It's easy to lose contain in situations like that, and those runs pop out the backside.
Back to the running game again, and he gets spun around and forward for 4.
Not many guys get away from Damone Clark. I was just blown away when I put the film on to the Alabama game last week at what A-Team was able to do. Pressuring, chasing plays down in the flat, physicality against offensive linemen.
Had a sack, 2 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. LSU showed pressure, then backed off. Blake Kern picks up 2. And it'll bring up a 4th down at midfield.
Finally feel like you have a little bit of momentum here if you're Sam Pittman. It's got to be a tough call to let the punt group back out there. I don't feel like Arkansas has had any momentum plays since the first play of the game until this drive. You don't want that to go away by distributing the football back to LSU.
Well, let's see if there's any creativity on Arkansas' side of the football now. Ladarius Bishop was run on the field late. Bauer gets it away clean. And they'll carry into the end zone a 51-yarder. 10-3 LSU leads here. We'll get you to the studio right after this break.
Gained over 400.
Unbelievable. You know what, Dari? I knew it was coming because the guest picker on College Game Day said Ole Miss would win that game. It happened to be Lane Kiffin.
Put him up there more often. How do you have 408 yards and a half and 15 points?
Nothing doing in the run game with Corey Kiner. Corral 17 of 25, 216 yards. Jaron Healy with a big first half. Here's a look at the SEC West standings. Winner of the division gets Georgia in the SEC championship game. It was wide open to start the game. Auburn blew a lead against Mississippi State. They've switched spots in the order. Nussmeier slings it incomplete. Trying to find Trey Palmer. What about this Arkansas defense? They almost pitched a shutout in the first half against Mississippi State last week. And then the Bulldogs made some adjustments second half. How did they match up with LSU and Nussmeier?
Well, it was an interesting matchup because you wanted to see if Barry Odom was going to be able to survive defending the run with 3 down linemen. He's mixed and matched it a little bit tonight, but for the most part, they've been able to keep Ty Davis-Price in check with just 3 down linemen. On
3rd and 10. They rush 3, now a 4th, and quickly up to make the stop, Hayden Henry.
Really good push by Torian Carter there. 91, middle of that defense. You just dent the pocket, so you remove some passing windows for the quarterback. Now, you're not going to see it in the stat book. You're not going to see it in the box score. But you affect the quarterback's eyes and how he feels the pocket. And obviously that check down to the back, we mentioned it earlier, something Barry Odom has put such an emphasis on because of who they played last week.
Chance to run? No. Had you thinking.
That Max Duffy, he's running that one.
A little slow, the roll down to the 28-yard line. More football action in 10 seconds. Kendall Briles, offensive coordinator for Arkansas. He's on a bunch of short lists, chance to be a head coach for the first time. He said it's up to me to finish up strong. The last 5 drives have all ended in punts.
Not a lot of yards there.
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Dominic Johnson. Gain of 3.
2 things I think we need to see from the Arkansas offense if they're going to get going. Tempo coming here again. Continue to move 16. Traylon Burks, get him around. Quarterback runs from KJ Jefferson are going to be there.
Wow. McLaughlin was all over that one. Hudson Henry, Hayden's brother, gets taken down.
This is how you stress an offense with pressure. Force them to get rid of the football quickly. Your defenders play up on the perimeter and have to make plays.
Blitz coming. Razorbacks 0 for 6 on 3rd down. Completes that one. Good for a first down to Tyson Morris, who had 2 monster catches on the game-winning drive for Arkansas a week ago against Mississippi State.
And Tyson, the young man that Kendall Briles says has to take the pressure off Burks.
Looking for that second receiver. Here's their first quarterback, KJ Jefferson. Quarterback keeper into LSU territory for 14 yards.
Here's the thing, Tom, if LSU's going to play as aggressive as they are, those runs are going to be there.
Back to Dominic Johnson. Jacqueline Roy with the tackle for LSU.
One thing a lot of folks wouldn't really understand maybe from what LSU did a week ago, a lot of the pressures, a lot of the blitzes were actually run blitzes from Durante Jones. He explained that to us yesterday when we sat down with him, saying we just wanted to take the runaway first. We were going to be happy with whatever happened after that if we could shut it down.
Traylon Burks in the slot. They're going to run it. No, they're going to throw to the slant. Beautiful play by McLaughlin. Knocked it down.
I mean, they call it DBU for a reason, right? They got DBs just falling out of trees here in Baton Rouge. RPO, excellent play on the slant. And I'll go back again. If you're going to play aggressive and you're going to pressure, your corners will be put on an island. They have to make plays on the football. These LSU DBs did it last week against Alabama. They're doing it again tonight against Arkansas.
3rd and 9. Play clock at 0. Timeout taken by Arkansas. 4:20 left in the first half. 10-3 LSU.
Region's halftime report is coming up. I've been told it's a Bones Day in Knoxville. We will explain that as soon as we understand it. Matt Corral and company will update what they're doing at Texas A&M and take you around the league. How about this LSU defense, again, stuffing the run?
Where'd they come from?
Where are they last week ago?
The last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Great job.
They're just playing loose, aggressive. They're fun to watch. We're seeing a little bit.
All right, gentlemen, looking forward to it. Arkansas, 12th in the SEC when they face the 3rd and long. 0 for 4 tonight.
Cordell Flat there lined up on Traylon Burks.
To a screen. Rocket Sanders gets taken down. It's Baskerville again, who is leading LSU now with 7 tackles in the first half.
Running back screens were going to be a counter for Arkansas tonight against the LSU pressure. Second one that we've seen that linebackers have just been too fast, have read it too quickly, not allow those to get going. Excellent play there by Baskerville.
Palmer stands inside the 10. Reed Bauer out of Magnolia, Texas to punt it away. Hogs adjust the line. That costs them at the play clock. Probably not a big issue, but they'll do it from 5 yards further after this penalty.
Prior to the expiration of the play clock, timeout Arkansas. Their second of the game.
Well, that's kind of weird. 3.5 minutes to go. Why take a timeout to save you 5 yards before you punt?
Well, the timeout before a punt worked for LSU last week.
It sure did. And Ogeron said we had the fake in. Almost didn't run it after the timeout. Here's a look at LSU's pressure.
Attacking different spots. Watch your A-gaps between the center and 2 guards. Let's attack right near the football, says Durante Jones. Make him make some decisions. Almost picked up, but KJ Jefferson still feels that pressure. All right, empty. We'll just overload it. Not all of them can be blocked. Like Durante Jones said, speed up the routes, speed up the drop, speed up the play action. Once you get there, and KJ Jefferson has his back turned to the boundary where the pressure comes from. I love the mixing by Durante Jones's pressures tonight.
First 8 games of the season, LSU blitzed on only 7% of their opponent's plays. Last week against Alabama, 63% of Bama's snaps, LSU brought pressure. Palmer asks for a fair catch, takes it at the 10.
That LSU defense has the bodies. They're NFL players on this defense. They just got a makeover. I mean, they got to go to the mall. They got glowed up. They got Dad's credit card. They got the hair did. They got new makeup. Got some new gear. Fresh kicks. They look good.
I feel like the booth looks better tonight than it does on a normal Saturday night.
Ball is beautiful.
Garrett Nussmeier took over in the 3rd series of the game, has not relinquished the quarterback position. Ty Davis Price, who fumbled on a Wildcat, picks up a yard on 1st down.
Split zone again, so that tight end comes back across where the play is originally going, but the defensive line has done a pretty good job standing up against the run. The big runs that we've seen have been sort of cutbacks from Ty Davis Price.
We've seen more split zone in the modern college game than we have the last couple of years.
Everywhere, Tom. Everybody's running split zone because it gives you so many different options. It cuts off that backside defender from coming flat down the line of scrimmage to be able to make plays, and then you can slip that tight end in on routes. We saw LSU hit a couple tonight.
Besh listed as a tight end, unattached near side. Great receiver. And they go outside to Palmer. Past the 20, up to the 23. Tigers have all 3 timeouts remaining. 2:35 clock will stop as they move the chain.
Nice read there from Garrett Nussmeier. Having an understanding of that off coverage. Trey Palmer just kind of sits down in space, delivers a strike, and then a little bit of yak yards from 33. Extra tackle in the game on the near side.
Straight ahead. And a 5-yard pickup.
I mentioned it earlier. That's where Jack Mashburn is just so valuable. They will insert him in the run game between the tackles, and he's just able to help you get a little bit of an extra push. Really nice blocker, good pad level for a tight end that goes almost 6'4".
Nussmeier floats it out to Ty Davis Price, and he's taken down in the open field by Bumper Poole. Great name, great player. It's a loss of 3.
What a play. Barry Odom has talked about these linebackers, their instincts, their toughness, but the ability to make plays in space. And Bumper Pool, you saw, he reads it right off the bat.
5 games this season with double-digit tackles for Poole out of Lucas, Texas.
Takeo Spikes told me one time, tackling is a mentality. Do you want to get the ball carrier to the ground more than they want to keep running? I think that mentality lives within a lot of these Arkansas linebackers.
7 takedowns in the first half for Poole. On 3rd down, straight ahead. Grant Morgan in there, part of the stop after a pickup of 5. And a timeout taken by Arkansas, trying to get a chance to find some points before the half comes to an end.
Arkansas. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, Bumper Poole is certainly a unique name. His dad told all of his friends in high school, I have a son, he's going to go by Bumper. So you haven't played Bumper Poole before? Well, typically it comes in a place with a sticky floor. He's averaging nearly 10 tackles a game, 5 games with double-digit tackles for Poole. Part of a very talented linebacking core for this Arkansas team, alongside Hayden Henry there in the middle, Grant Morgan, the future physician, on the far right. Barry Odom said these guys watch more film than I do. They know what's happening. It makes them really easy to coach. For Mike Shearer, who's a linebacker coach, good looking punt. Stevens at the 25. So 36 seconds left in the first half. What has stymied Kendall Briles and KJ Jefferson tonight?
The different looks that they're getting defensively from Durante Jones. And we talked to that group about it and how would they prepare, and felt like they were a little split on exactly what they anticipated. Talked to Sam Pittman, he said, I think we're going to get a little bit more of what LSU has been the entire season. Kendall Briles, why would they get away from what they did last week? They had so much success with it. And a great quote from Pittman saying, you can focus in and prepare for one thing and be good at it, or you can prepare for everything and probably be poor.
They haven't been stymied like this since the Georgia game. Taylon Smith trying to give him some breathing room. Fewest first half rushing yards this year is 40, and total yards 78, both in that game between the hedges. Behind both of those numbers here, Taylon Smith is still the leader in the running back room, even though he's not the starter. Ball came out at the tail end of that one, and Morris fell on it. That'll end up being a first down. Tempo for Arkansas. They run this all the time. Out to Knox, and he gets out of bounds with 4 on the clock. Well, 1 play left for Arkansas. Let's see what KJ Jefferson can do with this one. LSU will use a timeout. Jefferson was magnificent in the clock situation last week against Mississippi State on the game-winning drive. Ended up throwing for 191 yards and a touchdown. Going Ryan Mallett and Brandon Allen be 80% or better with a minimum of 20 passes in Arkansas history. What do you got with 4 seconds left and 58 yards to go?
I tried to get the ball to 16 somehow, some way. I don't know if you want to hand it to him, some sort of an end around. We're trying to get him singled up.
Traylon Burks, middle receiver. That was a great circle.
Thank you.
They're going to run it. And here goes Traylon Smith. And he tripped over the 30 to end the half. 28-yard run, the longest play of the night for the Arkansas offense. It caught everybody by surprise. But after scoring on their opening drive, nothing doing for the Razorbacks. It's halftime, and you can watch a live performance of the Golden Band from Tigerland on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. Ed Ogeron, the head coach with LSU, standing by with Tara.
kept this Arkansas offense out of the end zone through the first half of this game. How do you feel about the intensity that your defense is bringing
I
right
really
now?
like the way we call the defense. Our guys are playing hard. This is a good offense. We're going to have to play for 60 minutes. They're going to come back ready to go.
Is Nussmeier going to be the guy in the second half? Will he take it the rest of the way?
Yes, he is. And I think he's doing well. He made some good plays. But you know what? We still can't bog down here in the red zone. We've got to be able to score points.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Go Tigers.
Well, I think Garrett Nussmeier is proof that you just need to change things up a little bit, Dari, and that's why we kicked Jordan Rogers out of the booth and we brought in Cole for a night. 10-3, LSU with the lead at the half. Back to the studio.
I hear you, Tommy Hart. It is time now for the region's.
Welcome back to SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile. Pre-game, Ed Ogeron getting his guys fired up in the LSU locker room. Not enough to pound on the win bar. Open up these doors and let us out. LSU, after a slow start, found some motivation with a change at quarterback. First through the doors, and now the Tigers have the lead at the break. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Cole Kubelik. LSU's offense good enough to get the lead. Arkansas's offense kind of a no-show tonight. What gives?
Well, I think a lot of what you're seeing from this LSU defense mixing and matching what we saw for the first half of the season and then what we saw from Alabama last week. There were two different style of defenses, but Durante Jones has done a nice job mixing them up.
They're playing loose. Let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Zaxby's. And the key, Arkansas has been held to 61 rushing yards in the first half. They came in 4th in the country.
Got to find a way to get the rushing attack going in the second half if you're Arkansas. I don't know if that's a different back. I think it definitely needs to be more KJ Jefferson carrying the football, but it has to go.
Let's go down to the field. Tara Talmadge talked to Sam Pittman after the half.
Yeah, you know, earlier this week when we talked to Sam Pittman, he said the key to winning this game was getting a fast start. That has not happened tonight. Talking with him as he exited the locker room, he said they have to be successful at getting first downs. LSU's defense has been stifling so far tonight, so that has to change. And also, they have to be able to get the run game going. It's been one of their strengths so far this season, and it is just not working out for them so far. They know that they're only down by 7 right now. This game is still intact for Arkansas.
Well, what's held them back, not just the running game, but third down lack of success. They run a guy off late. Just 1 of 8 on third downs tonight. Here's Dominic Johnson on the pitch. Ran into his own man and still able to find a couple of yards. Traylon Burks has been a key performer for Arkansas all season. One of the best yardage men in the SEC. He's been targeted 4 times. He has a total of 10 yards.
Kendall Browse has done a nice job moving him around, but the touch is going to have to increase in the second half.
29 consecutive games with a catch. They go straight ahead this time with Dominic Johnson. I wonder, we're talking about it at the half, does Arkansas be motivated to make a change at running back? Traylon Smith has speed. Dominic Johnson averages 7.5 yards a carry, but that's been a relatively limited role so far this year.
There hasn't been a lot of success between the tackles either, Tom. So if you're going to live on the perimeter, Smith gives you a little extra juice on the outside.
Bring Burks into the backfield. Jefferson needs 5, going to run for it. Got it! First down, Razorbacks, and he shoves his way all the way up to the 45.
Just a nice read by KJ Jefferson. Play action pass. Sees a little bit of pressure coming quickly. Probably more just saying, hey, I got some space. Let's tuck this ball and go.
Tyson Morris, the Razorback wide receiver, injured at the end of that play.
He was coming across the field. There was an LSU defender that kind of went low on him. I don't know if he maybe took one in the quad. It looked like a tough collision.
Brady Latham, the left guard, also got shook up on that play for the Razorbacks. And the athletic training staff paying a lot of attention to that left leg of Tyson Morris.
Tyson Morris, a guy that Kendall Briles told us we need him to take some of the heat off of Traylon Burks, and everything we ask him to do needs to be that other option for us.
Morris won a state championship at Fayetteville High School before going to junior college. Find number 19 at the end of this play. We'll step away as they take a look at this injury. Tyson Morris helped off the field for Arkansas and into the medical tent. Senior wide receiver. Now one catch tonight. KJ Jefferson kept it on that last run. Led Arkansas to a first down. Could use more QB runs maybe. Searching for answers. A laser down the sideline. Too strong. Incomplete. Trying to find Warren Thompson. Darren Evans had the coverage.
Jefferson got the one-on-one. So he took the shot play. I like the idea, but gives the receiver really no ability to adjust on the football. There's a rocket down the sideline.
This Razorback offense just hasn't found a rhythm tonight.
Yeah, I think that's because of the lack of the rushing attack. That's something that usually gets going, that allows you to implement tempo and obviously keeps you ahead of the chains.
Traylon Burks in motion. Got him on a wheel route and goes underneath him to the tight end. That was nearly picked. Use Burks as a decoy and have Blake Kern behind him. 3rd and 10.
I'm as confident as anybody that Kendall Browse will be able to make some adjustments coming out of halftime. Have to diagnose what you were getting and where it was coming from, because you were a little bit unsure about how you wanted to set your plan up based on what Alabama was presented by LSU defensively last week and what they had done through the rest of the season. So finding a way to get that rushing attack going first and foremost has to happen for the Hogs.
But a member of the chain gang take a hit at the end of that play. And so the Arkansas athletic training staff rushes to his aid. They'll float her over to the sideline trying to find Blake Kern. And the guys behind the play impacted that game official. Could see him moving his legs. That's a good sign. Doctors from the LSU sideline come across the field to go and help the Arkansas athletic training staff. Hope everybody turns out to be okay. We'll take a break. Arkansas looking at a 3rd and 10 after this.
And what's going on right now with the side judge down and bringing out a cart now. So we're going to just spend a little bit of time here. Actually, we're going to send it back here in just a minute. So, in fact, we're going to send it back right now. Just know this. We'll keep you posted on what's going on in Oxford. Football final when it is all over in Baton Rouge.
All right, Dari, thanks. You handled that like I do with Cole. You just don't let anybody else talk. I'm going to do it. Remember, the chain gang helped off the field. He said, I don't need a stretcher. Hopped in the front seat riding shotgun. They'll get more medical attention to him. And Sam Pittman, one of the first to come over there, shake his hand and wish him well. And after the delay on a chilly night with temperatures in the upper 40s, Arkansas looking at a 3rd and long. They're only 2 of 9 on 3rd downs tonight. Burks will have man coverage on the outside. Jefferson looking for him. Pressured. Bounces off a guy. Will rumble and picks up the first down. An 11-yard scramble. That's what KJ Jefferson brings to the table.
They needed more of it. Not sure if this is exactly how they wanted. Empty set, so you got 5-man protection. KJ Jefferson knew the ball needed to come out. Excellent job eluding that rush and being able to get ahead for first down yardage. Traylon Burks had a double move on the play, was wide open down the field.
Fire to the outside. Move to the inside. Burks has a first down. Flag on the play. They might get Warren Thompson here. As it stands, a pickup of 18 and the kicking net down.
You don't want to see 16. A little bit gimpy.
Holding. Offense number 84. 15-yard penalty for responding to foul. Still first down.
Warren Thompson tried to pull his hands back, but it was too late. The lasting image, though, is Burks coming up gimpy.
You see the value of Traylon Burks. You get a throw at the line of scrimmage. These are the things that he's able to do. Yak yardage. Over the last 2 seasons, he has 809 yards after the catch coming in.
Sounds like a lot.
6th best in all of FBS. He's essentially a running back when he catches the football. The physicality that he plays with, not many other receivers can match it.
Here's Traylon Smith. He's bottled up at the line of scrimmage. In fact, it'll be a loss of a yard.
Tom, you thought Smith might be a more welcome target for this Arkansas offense, and I agreed. He's got a little more juice out on the edge, but you got to be able to seal that edge first to get him in space.
Trying to get the 2 trays involved. Traylon Burks and Traylon Smith. Jefferson takes it down for a gain of 7.
I think this is where Arkansas is going to have to live here in the second half. A lot of quarterback runs. If LSU is going to play as aggressive as they have defensively, the space will be there. Nice read there from Jefferson. Just get north and south. Use that big body.
Kern shifts straight ahead. Jay Ward comes in for the stop. 4th down to leave the offense on the field.
Essentially 5 down up front for LSU. You're going to get Jay Ward here off the edge, coming in to make the play behind the line of scrimmage. He's unaccounted for. He's coming down as a safety.
4th and 4. Jefferson taken down in the backfield. A sack by Damone Clark. LSU turns them over on downs. What a job by this LSU defense tonight.
18 was a maniac pressuring last week against Alabama. Now lined up here at the line of scrimmage was 19, 18 line buck behind the defensive line, attacking the front. Damone Clark's just been excellent, especially the last 2 weeks in this more aggressive defense that Durante Jones is dialing up.
First-year defensive coordinator Nussmeier fires to Palmer. Into traffic. It's a gain of 9. If you joined us late, Max Johnson made another start at quarterback for LSU tonight. Lasted 2 series. The plan all along was to go to Nussmeier unless Johnson got up to a red-hot start. And Nussmeier did bring a spark, even though he wasn't efficient early. Needing 1, Arkansas stands up Ty Davis-Price. Here's your guy, John Ridgeway, has been on a tear up front.
Well, I'll tell you, John Ridgeway, fun football player to watch, especially in that 0 nose, lined up, head up on the center for Barry Odom's defense. You'll hear people talk about 2-gapping as a defensive lineman. Essentially, you'll strike a defensive lineman with your hands, keep him away, and you'll play 1 gap to the left, 1 to the right. Ridgeway did that at a 0 nose last week.
3rd and short, yardage picked up. 2nd and 8. LSU can still get a first down without a touchdown inside the 1.
4-down look here from Barry Odom's defense. Going a little bigger up front.
Nussmeier, end zone. It is intercepted by Monteric Brown. Razorbacks will have a chance for the win. 4th pick of the season by Buster Brown.
Leverage by the corner will define where this ball needs to be. If you're going to go up top, you have to take that to the back pylon. Back shoulder is okay, but you have to leave it behind the opposite shoulder of the receiver. That ball's just too short or too far inside. One or the other. Garrett Nussmeier delivers that ball when Monteric Brown's able to make a play, and boy, does he make a big one.
2nd pick tonight for Nussmeier. 23 interceptions in 19 games under defensive coordinator Barry Odom. Quarterback K.J. Jefferson in Arkansas trying to end a 5-game losing streak to LSU. Quarterback run all the way. Jefferson dances out at the 19. Ball was a little loose getting over there.
It was a fumble forward out of bounds. The ball will be returned to the spot of the fumble. 2nd down.
Boy, Durante Jones brings 6 up to the line of scrimmage. A lot of pressure. There you see ball popped loose.
Great job by Jay Ward to get in there for it. LSU's defense needs to make a play.
How aggressive will Durante Jones play?
They get the lead. This is Jefferson again to the 20. Pickup of 2. Arkansas content to play for the 3 and the win.
Why not? I'll take 3 of those from K.J. Jefferson. Kick, get out of here with a dub and a boot.
Third and 4.
I mean, I feel like this is just going to be get the ball in the middle of the field.
Wherever Cam Little wants it, Jefferson secures the ball, takes it just inside the 20. Cam Little is 2 for 2 tonight. The freshman kicker is made from 48 and 28. After a 3 field goal game last week against Mississippi State, he ended his night by consoling Mississippi State's kicker. He said, keep your head up. Don't let that kick define you. Well, this kick may define Cam Little and bring the boot back to Northwest Arkansas. From 37 yards, LSU uses timeout.
LSU. The only charge timeout.
And they'll try to ice them on a 45-degree night. Well, how do you summarize this one?
A lot of grit, a lot of determination from this Arkansas football team. Because we mentioned it earlier, Tom, there was almost 0 momentum going their way in the first half. And we kind of thought that's how it had to play out for LSU. That if something bad went LSU's way, you wondered how they would react. And would they be able to put 4 quarters together? Then Arkansas grabs a little bit of momentum early in the second half. Here we are.
From 37 yards with the boot on the line. A freshman kicker on the road in the SEC. Cam Little. Leaking. Delivers! Arkansas wins it in overtime. Razorbacks will rush for the boot. Little was dancing on one side of the field, and the Razorbacks grabbed the trophy on the other side. 175 pounds, has never felt so light before. This is a kicker that knows how to party, huh?
He deserves it. That's a massive kick, a massive moment for this team, for this program. Haven't had that thing since 2015. Unbelievable.
Sam Pittman said he talked to his guys about the trophy. None of them have ever held it before.
He said most of them hadn't seen it.
Sam Pittman can be emotional. A guy who loves his state, loves this job, and now he can love on that trophy. He's with Tara.
Coach, you have just helped lead Arkansas to its first win over LSU in 5 years. How does that sound to you?
Well, it sounds awesome, but man, it was ugly. But we got it done. We got the boot, Tara.
Little, who has quite the boot as well. What did you think about him getting you guys the win in overtime?
Well, once Mo picked the second, he picked it down there in the end. We were just trying to get a few more yards and then put it in the middle because we got Mr. Automatic back there, and man, did he do a nice job. The guy's got ice water, man. For a young guy, did a heck of a job.
Well, you guys rallied coming out of halftime, and your defense played exceptional. How did you feel about your team's performance, especially the defense?
Well, it was hard. I mean, LSU's got a really good defense. We saw that last week. So it was really hard, on us offensively, and the defensive coaches did such a great job, and the players did a better job than the coaches. And then we just hung in there and made a big play, a busted play, and KJ made a big play, and man, it's nice to be a Hog right now.
We just heard Grant Morgan say, yes, sir. Can we get it one from you?
Yes, sir. Go Hog.
Thank you, Coach.
That was a little truncated. He said it was ugly. The trophy looks good, though. Arkansas snaps a 5-game losing streak to LSU. I thought Cam Little's kick was trailing to the outside, but he drilled it.
It looked like it had a little bit of fade in the beginning. Right there, but whoo, it stuck true. It was a bomb. It was such a big moment. So much on the line. The expectations, resetting this season before the off week. We mentioned it. Bowl, boot, Bama, and borderline. Those two coming up next for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A lot to be happy about if you're wearing maroon and white right now.
Ed Ogeron and LSU will try to regroup with their season trickling away. They get Monroe and then finish at home against Texas A&M. Doesn't get any easier for Arkansas. Cam Little and the Razorbacks get Alabama coming up next. 16-13, our final in overtime. Razorbacks take home the boot. Coming up next, SEC football final. For Cole Kublik and Tara Talmadge, I'm Tom Hart. So long from Baton Rouge.